Will Mumbai ever get good roads?
Corruption has seeped quite a bit in the execution, in my view.
A few years back, there was the big road scam where one full layer was missing. Were you shocked that such a degree of scam can happen in terms of
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I've seen that.
At the home buyer level, एक perception है कि सुबोध कुमार ने balconies extend कर दी घरों में.
I realized if I sanction it, I'm giving him extra space which is not due to him, whose value will be roughly 250 crores. Not more than 1 or 2% developers get these benefits. So it was not a level playing field. So my primary motive was how to create a level playing field for everyone. I'm definitely not anti-builder. I always used to say to everybody in government, including Chief Minister, that builder is not a bad word or a bad person.
Why is Mumbai the mess that we see it is today?
Every inch you see in Mumbai, you will not give it for any purpose. You think it's a waste of money, whether a playground or parking place. You will only put a building there.
Are we just an inferior race when it comes to doing infrastructure development?
British should study with long-term planning, holistic planning. Cars came in the world in 1900 only. So in 1930 there were hardly any car. It was very visionary for them to plan that kind of thing. You don't require roads only for car.
Can Mumbai ever see affordable housing?
I think affordable word is not applicable either to Mumbai or to bulk of MMR now.
Do you think Mumbai missed a chance by not adding a railway line to the Trans Harbour?
Lifetime chance.
In today's episode of The Real Deal, I'll be talking to Mumbai's most disruptive municipal commissioner, Subodh Kumar, who in a short tenure in 2011 and 2012 tamed the wild instincts of Mumbai real estate. I'll be talking to him on real estate, why are Mumbai's roads so bad, why does it flood every year, and importantly, can Mumbai ever be fixed? Let's hear him out. But before we do that, a big thanks to Zerodha 01 Media Network for partnering with us to bring you meaningful content on real estate. We'd love it if you could like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So thank you, Mr. Kumar, for coming on The Real Deal. You know, you're the only bureaucrat who has appeared on my show in reference by developers who have come on the podcast. One person told me, just when I told him that you're coming on the show, he called you the most disruptive BMC commissioner. Do you take that as a compliment?
Change is always disruptive. So because there is also fear in the change.
When you took that famous decision 12 years back, which disrupted the industry, आपने क्या देखा जिसकी वजह से आपने वो स्टेप लिया जिसकी वजह से मुंबई रियल एस्टेट चेंज फॉरएवर? What was the trigger?
So when I took over in BMC, since I was not familiar with the building rules, first fortnight, I devoted lots of time in understanding intricacy of the main bylaws of the buildings. After that, when I started sanctioning the building proposals, I was aghast seeing so many things, like what you can construct according to the rules is suppose 1,000 square meter, but proposal is coming for 3,000 square meters. Everybody from down the line can say, commissioner can relax the rules under the powers given to him and can sanction it. Now, you must have heard about deck parking, even that was there. And penny dropped. When a file came to me and I was looking at it, I realized if I sanction it, I'm giving him extra space which is not due to him, whose value will be roughly 250 crores. Of course, I deleted all those portions, gave sanction, what should have been given. And then I asked my small team of 2 officers to find out how many cases like that we have done in 1 year, and what is the total area, and what is the value of that, which we are given, which we ought not to have given, which we are given free. They came with a figure of about 20,000 crores. It is not that only BMC is giving free, it is given free to the builder, but he is charging from the customer. Customer is not getting it free. Again, I asked how many cases are done like that. So I realized that not more than 1 or 2% developers get these benefits. It will pick and choose. Some people will get, when they can build only say 2 lakh square meter, he will build 10 lakh square meter. Others will build only 2 lakh square meter. So it was not a level playing field. My idea was if it's not a level playing field, slowly everybody else will get driven out of the market. Because he can't buy land in competition with those who can pay much more because they can get much more FSI. FSI means built up area. City of FSI area is more than the legitimate FSI area. So my primary motive was how to create a level playing field for everyone. That was the trigger.
So, okay. So, आपने कहा this thing of FSI, I think it's fair to say that was a scam, right? Just the way it was given ad hoc. Just explain for a lay audience. This FSI, what did you see? जैसे आपने कहा, you had a builder could build 1,000 square meter by as per rules, but he was constructing 3,000 square meter. He was charging the customer for the entire 3,000, but he was paying BMC for 1,000 square meter. Was there a particular proposal? आपने कहा वो 250 crores का केस था. What was unique in that? Was it like big balconies? Was it a car parking? All those things? What was it?
No, I won't say about that particular proposal. I won't remember now. But there were many proposals in which most of them will come the deck parking. Deck parking means, in the layman terms, you live on say 20th floor, then you will take your car to a 20th floor. Suppose your flat is of 1,500 square feet. You have 3 cars. So you will say, I want to park my car adjacent to my flat on the 20th floor. So then you read 3 parking bays and you take maneuvering for those 3 cars. So roughly you may get about say 1,500 square feet your flat area. But this area may be more than even 1,500 in that case. And this area was so planned, so designed, that there is a flat, the drawing room is there, adjacent drawing room is the parking area. And since you are asking on each floor, suppose a 25-floor building, every floor, every flat will have a deck parking. That means it gets covered by another deck. So entire thing gets covered. So you don't have to park your car on the deck. You can park in the parking itself, which you have parking otherwise also. First floor, second floor, third floor, parking floors. So you can park there and simply utilize this area which you already covered from the top and assimilate in your house. And while selling that to the customer, seller was telling, okay, your area is not 1,500, it's actually 3,500. So pay me for 3,500.
So basically, telling the corporation one thing, telling the buyer another thing. What was the first reaction when you told people in the government space that ye karna hai? Because the builder community is supposed to be a very powerful community.
No, government I told after about preparing it for 3-4 months. I started somewhere 2 months after I joined there. So in the next 4 months, I completed what needs to be changed, what notification need to be issued by government. When I told government, there were different kind of reactions. So you should realize there were large number of beneficiaries also within the system. Because you do not give anybody anything free, selective basis, without a quid pro quo. The beneficiary could exist at many places within BMC, outside BMC, in the political class, in Mantralaya itself.
One view of the builder community is that for them it didn't make much of a difference. Earlier, what they were giving to the government officer, now they just give it to the government. Would you agree with that interpretation? Ki what I was giving as bribe, now I'm just giving it officially to the government.
Yeah, but you also are creating a level playing field also. And compared to bribe, coming to the public authority, which can be used for public purpose, is much better.
At the home buyer level, एक perception है कि सुबोध कुमार ने balconies extend कर दी घरों में. Is that valid?
Not really. When we created level playing field with the fungible FSI, I had roughly taken about 20% area, which were earlier free FSI, as a part of FSI. I increased FSI by 35%. So they were able to construct more than what they were constructing earlier. Now, there is no restriction anywhere you can't construct balconies. It's the option of the buyer, as well as the seller, what kind of houses you want to build. You can build with the extra FSI which is given in the rules. You can create either 2 balconies or you can create a bedroom. Perhaps builders are creating bedroom and people are demanding more bedrooms. So it is not a rules prohibit balcony.
Okay.
Choice is given to the consumer. What he wants, market supplies.
You created a level playing field. Was there a solution that could have ensured we still get aesthetically good looking buildings with balconies while retaining the level playing field for the industry?
I think there is one assumption in your question that aesthetics of a building gets enhanced because of balcony.
It certainly helps, no?
Balcony may have some utility, but aesthetic-wise, it doesn't help. All kinds of aesthetic-wise, one can do on the facade many things, even in the new rules also. New rules only take care of whatever you take free, like say sitting deck, green deck, you name them something, and take free FSI, and then use them as a living space. So any horizontal living space has been taken FSI. Otherwise, whatever you make on the top, on the sides, outside, the facade, is not part of FSI.
So you would disagree with the feedback that many people say that Subodh Kumar killed balconies and he made Mumbai buildings ugly. You would disagree with that assessment?
I disagree with both.
With both of them. What do you think of buildings in Mumbai at this stage? Right? Just when you see them, to a common person, he says, "हाँ, सब building Mumbai में same ही लगती है. क्या फर्क है?"
But that in most cities like that, I mean, in the world.
But like design.
But design, nobody has prescribed a particular design for any particular building. You can design according to best of your ability, and all buildings are not same in Mumbai.
You don't think so? Just whenever I drive by, and frankly, if in case if I take out the board outside of the developer, I'll not be able to distinguish, barring some exceptions, developers who make a very defined way, like a Hirandani or a Oberoi. Their style is defined. You take this out, it all looks the same, no?
But that only means yes, two people can, others can also do it. Design has nothing to do with FSI rules. It doesn't stop your imagination or your creativity in any way.
So basically, both the most common points that I think people accuse you of, you totally disagree with that. Okay. The third part, Mumbai is the richest municipal corporation of Asia. About 20 years back, it was nowhere close. People credit you with that. You might have made some officers poorer, but you certainly made the government body richer. Did you think that this would have such a big impact when you took those decisions?
See, it's like this. Cities world over are run by property taxes world over. They charge good property tax, which is buoyant. It keeps on increasing as the value of the property increases. Periodically gets revised. In India, unfortunately, that was not the case. Cities were always gasping for money and providing very poor infrastructure. A poor civic corporation is very bad for the city, ultimately. You can have a rich city but very poor corporation with very poor amenities. Property tax in India was not yielding much amount to any corporation, not only BMC, for two reasons. Rent Control Act to begin with, which froze the rents in time. And second was rateable value system. Whatever rateable value at time of construction, it remains fixed for entire life of the building. So tax, whatever was 50 years back, is the same today. We tried to correct it in 2000 when I was in BMC. Take it to capital value system. We should have yielded much money to corporation and remove disparity between SOBO and the suburbs. Suburbs were paying more tax compared to SOBO, old buildings. It could come through. It came ultimately in 2011-12. But by that time, damage had been done. Some amendments were carried out to the Act, limiting the increase you can make from the old properties. Say like property at Marine Drive, say 2,000 square feet flat, was paying 100 rupees property tax. While should have paid about 50,000, I mean. So 100, we wanted to make 500 to begin with and revise every 5 years so that in the course of time, in a generation, it comes somewhere nearer to the market value. But it is limited to 2 times. Even that is also not being revised regularly right now. So the only option was how to create a source for BMC. So when we went for fungible FSI, again from property and land itself, we are taking the money for the civic corporation. There is a one flaw in that. It comes on the new buildings. Old properties do not contribute to that. But in the course of time, each old property will become dilapidated sometime. It will get reconstructed, it will pay at that time. So ultimately, it's the same property which could have paid property tax earlier is paying by way of fungible FSI.
So redevelopment ensures that every old building becomes new, so you keep getting money.
You will get money.
You, I think, gave the reference that you can have a rich city but a very poor municipality and amenities. I think Mumbai is a pretty fair representation of that. Why is Mumbai the mess that we see it is today? Why? Why is Mumbai such a giant mess?
I think first there are two things. One is historical, other is how we managed it. Historically, Mumbai was a urban primer of India. There were lots of push factor from outside. You go to Bombay, you will get some employment and you will not go hungry, I mean. So this city had very rapid population growth at that time, much more than the city could manage. lots of scatter colonies came. And then perhaps we in India always thought city should have low FSI, low built up area. Spread out cities were made in India. Even when FSI was not a concept in India. Because it came in BMC also for first time in 1967 with the first development plan. Before there was nothing like FSI Mumbai. But while making that, we made FSI only 1.33. That came because of historical reasons. In Worli, the rule was that you can cover ground only 1/3. 2/3 you have to keep open while constructing. And you can have ground plus 3 stories. So that becomes FSI 1.33. So while making the rules, the city made FSI 1.33.
But what is the rationale in 1.33?
There were no rational. It was thought that we have allowed up to 1.33 in practice there. So make it 1.33. In fact, even Fort area, which had higher FSI consumed, or Kolaba area, which had higher FSI consumed, was also given 1.33 only. The result of it was that regular supply, legal supply was less in the city. Influx was more. So natural corollary was settlement colonies, illegal ones. Legally you don't provide. Influx you can't stop. They had to come. Human ingenuity. Then lots of scattered colonies came in Mumbai. They slowly became a vote bank. And again, that means you give them free houses. All kinds of things happen in Mumbai. Having that become the case, long-term planning was lacking. You are only coping with what is the problem getting created by the flux of time. You are not driving the urban growth. Urban growth was driving you basically. So that is the main reason. Again, there are a few more things which Bombay is not responsible or government is not responsible. When the construction was done, say about 80 years back or 70 years back, that time vehicle was not the common mode of transport. Very few vehicles in Mumbai also. So you never thought of parking at that time. There are not much of parking plots. Then houses also were built without stills, without parking. When the vehicles came in the city, in the people's life, there was no place for parking inside. They have to come on the roads, and that is something because of legacy. This should have been corrected. One should have, in the course of time, thought of providing lots of parking facilities so that cars do not come on the roads. But perhaps the greed took over, both administrative as well as builders. Every inch you see in Mumbai, you will not give it for any purpose. You think it's a waste of money, whether a playground or parking place or taxi stand. You will only put a building. So Mumbai woes are because of that. They're difficult ones, but I am an optimist. Perhaps they can be fixed, but will require Herculean task.
Right now, also, whenever in Mumbai, if you see the southern part of Bombay, what people call Sobo, the prime part, built to a large extent by the British, the Parsis. It seems very visionary, almost 50, 100 years ahead. And after independence, barring some exceptions that we have done, it's just been very, very poor planning and development. Are we just an inferior race when it comes to doing infrastructure development?
Nothing inferior. I think I can understand people in power having short-term horizon because they come for 5 years or whatever. But your bureaucracy stopped making long-term plans. Entire governance became short-term governance, I mean. For certain things you do, you first create infra, then create city. It's the other way around. Somehow the city comes into existence and then you try to cope with that. The effort to do it now with metro, with coastal road or whatever. But that alone will not succeed unless you take care of last mile connectivity, unless you take care of parking in Mumbai.
Would you agree that the British level administration that we saw in Bombay was much superior to what we see today in Mumbai?
I won't say superior or inferior, because that time the problems were much lesser compared to what they were after independence. As I said, we were a rather poor country in 1947. The large countryside, small towns, didn't have too many livelihood options, I mean. Mumbai being the prime city, there was too much of influx in Mumbai. That kind of challenge was never faced earlier, I mean. Of course, British used to carry with long-term planning, holistic planning, which somehow we gave a go by and were trying to cope with the growing city.
Because whenever I see the pictures of Colaba, Fort, Marine Drive, which came in the 1930s, to there weren't too many cars at that time. But when you see the width of the roads that was being built, you could see 100 years. Right now, we see more population, but still narrower roads being planned and developed.
Cars came in the world in 1900 only. So in 1930, there were hardly any car. It was very visionary for them to plan that kind of thing. You don't require roads only for car. Otherwise also, good wide roads were necessary, whether for a Tonga or for pedestrian or for other things, I mean. So it was very perceptive of them. But that was not only among the Britishers. You can see them in Jaipur also. There were wide roads by the king at that time.
So basically, आपके view में, it's not that we are an inferior race. It's just that some locations and some cities, our governance is completely collapsed. Correct? In terms of governance, there are two things that show up every year: roads and flooding. Will Mumbai ever get good roads?
There is no reason why it should not get.
Then why hasn't it?
In the beginning, it was resources crunch to some extent. Also, design itself was not very correct. Actually, roads is all about drainage. That was not well taken care of. Now the money is not in shortage. I think corruption has seeped quite a bit in the execution, in my view. So whatever you can do with the money available, you do perhaps much lesser than that. But they can be fixed. If the will is there, of course, it can't be done in 1 year, it can't be done in 2 years. You can't dig all the roads at one time. But if you plan the roads properly, their design is proper, their substratas are proper, there is no reason why the road should not last for longer period. And I think 1/7 road you can do in 1 year, easily. So it should take about 6-7 years before you can put all the roads in the wonderful conditions.
Because, anybody who comes from outside India, and some people who come from even within India, when they come to Mumbai, they are so shocked and surprised to see that Mumbai roads are in such terrible quality for the amount of billionaires that live here and the amount of money it has. They can't fathom that. How is it that Mumbai has such bad roads?
I think if city plans systematically take 1/7 road every year and make perfect roads in consultation with, say, design consultation with IIT, supervised by international agencies, you can make good roads.
So is the challenge in your view incompetence or corruption in providing good infrastructure?
Difficult to say, partly both. I tried that time to say that each and every road design should go to IIT for vetting. And after it is finalized, after their comments, then only it should be done. For execution, I had taken a private agency that time. I forget the name of some Swiss agency, I believe. So that when the execution is being done, they are on the job at that time to see that asphalt, concrete is proper, layer is proper, drainage is proper. But I think it was too short a time. We stayed only for a year and few months there. I think that agency was discontinued after 1 year.
Well, I'm reasonably certain their participation and involvement in managing the supervision, it actually would have been scuttled. Because I think the ecosystem is now so entrenched to a large degree in terms of corruption. In fact, a few years back, there was a big road scam where one full layer was missing. Were you shocked that such a degree of scam can happen in terms of?
Yeah, I'm not shocked. Look, I've seen that.
आपकी राय में Rajiv Gandhi once said that for every 1 rupee that's spent in terms of welfare, the eventual beneficiary gets a 15% of it. The same question I was to ask you about BMC. Out of every 100 rupees that's actually spent, how much of it goes for the welfare of the city?
I don't think, firstly, let me clarify. People believe that perhaps out of 100 rupees, 85 rupees is by way of siphoning off. It's not that.
It's administrative expense.
What Rajiv Gandhi meant, it was all expenses that you create, the machinery, this thing, that also consumes more money. Ultimately, for the beneficiary, only 15 paisa. In BMC, the things are not that bad. BMC has many good things also. Corruption in any organization is a reflection of the corruption in society also.
Kitna part? Like 20% would go to the welfare?
I don't think. No, much more.
Half the money goes into the salaries almost.
No, but salary is the part of welfare. I mean, how do you deliver things without the people actually? To call it a expenditure which is uncalled for is not correct. I mean, BMC is overstaffed. Not perhaps hospitals are not overstaffed. School education, we spend quite a bit of money, is not overstaffed. Some schools are falling back end now. less enrollment is there in the BMC. The quality is the issue of the education. Executives are not overstaffed. The staff, like basically laborers, that for cleaning of the city. Traditionally, you went cleaning by recruiting people, supervising them and cleaning the city. That's not a very efficient system of cleaning. I mean, you should have married your job, your money with the private sector efficiency. Many cities do that now. New Bombay does that. Entire cleaning is done by the private contractors. You pay them, so they take the labor, they supervise them well, get the work done, spend 1/4 the amount, and it's better clean. I mean, if you do that, you reduce the manpower in BMC by how many? 20,000 persons, I mean.
In your view, by what percentage is BMC overstaffed? Just when you look at it at a bird's eye view. Like BMC can function efficiently even with a certain percentage lower staff.
See, it depends. How do you organize your work? If you organize the work, that's something which you schedule yourself. Like building permission, you have to give it yourself. You can't outsource it, I mean. So you should always look at the problem. What is that which necessarily has to be done by me as an organization? What is that which I can enable others to do it? If you follow that model, then the savings will be there. And I think I can put a number there. Will not like to put it, I mean. Not that I do not know.
But then, so ballpark number, how much are we overstaffing in your view? Like 30%, 40%, 50%?
Why do you want to go into that controversy? They'll say he himself has retired. That time there were so many people.
Yeah, but I think right now it's fair to say one of the strengths that you had in your tenure was that the people knew that you came with the right intent, you got the job done. Of course, the tenure was incredibly short. I sometimes wonder that if your tenure was 3 years, how much more would you have disrupted? So I think you would in fact be the best person to answer, since you don't have skin in the game, but you've delivered in your short tenure as well.
Should be 30-40% people can be reduced, but you have to change your work methodology in that case. You can't do it just like that.
We are amidst this cement concretization in Mumbai. Big contract, almost 6,000 crores to get it done. Are you a supporter of cement concretization of roads? Are you in between? What are you like?
Every road doesn't have to be cement concretized. Very good asphalt roads can be made. But yeah, certain major carriageway one can concretize because it's a high rainfall area, Mumbai. But you have to be very careful while making them. A concrete road can last for 60 years also, can become bad in 20 years also. And that is one part one has to take care of. And secondly, concrete roads making technology has gone through tremendous amount of technological improvements. I mean, you can have the concrete road laying machines which can lay in a day, maybe 75 meters, entire thing. Rather than, I see the concrete road being made for 6 months, 8 months at one place. The solution for that is that if suppose you are going to give 600 crores or whatever 100 crores worth of contract, give a single contract for that. Roads may be many, but let only one party do that. He will have an incentive to buy those major machines, technology, and do it fast. It will be good for the citizens, quickly. The quality will be assured. And
do you think we can divide Mumbai roads into like 5 big micro markets which are given to 5 big heavyweight builders?
But why do you want to give to 5? Why not to give to 1?
Oh, you're saying the full city roads can be given to one contractor?
Let 20 bids come, which are the best one among them, and the maximum can let him do that, I mean. It does not mean it will take more time, or 5 will do it faster. One party can start at all the bids at the same time also. It's a question of deploying the manpower and the supervision. I mean.
But then you think it's doable that one contractor...
If you have a small contract, the contractors which can deploy new technology, faster building of the roads will not come. Because everybody will not be able to buy a machine for their small work.
Because, I find it, there's one popular handle on social media called Roads of Mumbai. And he put up a picture of BMC workers fixing the road. and he put a picture alongside that of the Stone Age era, that how they do it. I think for me that was a pretty good illustration as to how we are managing our roads today.
You have commented on that.
Will you be optimistic?
Does not need my comment on that.
Will you be optimistic on that Stone Age getting out of the way soon?
So you said that 2 contracts can be, you can divide 2. Don't divide too much. I mean, idea is the person should be able to buy those machines and use those machines. I mean, you can't buy a costly machine to use on one work actually, or 2 works.
Okay. The second big problem in Mumbai is that every monsoon, it floods. Invariably, it causes deaths. Can we solve the drainage problem, in your view?
No, it is fully solvable. In fact, part of the problem is because of the Mumbai topography. It's a saucer pan kind of thing. Where in the high tide time, the water level in the sea is at a higher level than the road level. To that extent, you have to close the gates, and whatever rain falls can't go in the sea through the drainage system. It had, once you had torrential rains in 2005, after that, you have widened the drainage network. Air Chitla Committee recommendation that time. They also recommended 8 pumping stations, huge capacity, who can lift water and put in the sea at that time also. Unfortunately, implementation is rather slow. All 8 are not yet actualized, functional. Only 6 are. 2 are yet to be done. I think if you do them properly and also create pumping capacity at certain places, if the water still accumulates, like Netherlands has taken that care, I mean. They used to have windmills earlier. Now they're only for show. There are only electric engines there, which pump water in the sea actually, above the deck. It's very much doable. You need to monitor after putting them in pumping stations that where the water accumulates, where you should hold it near the sea, and you should keep a deck there and pump it out in the sea. These are all doable things, I mean.
In your experience as the BMC commissioner, what part of the governance is the easiest to solve and what is the toughest to solve? What's the one thing you learned? कि सबसे मुश्किल क्या है और सबसे आसान क्या है BMC में fix करना?
Nothing is very difficult.
Then why has it not been done for 70 years?
I don't know, to ask the people, I mean, who are managing that.
आपके experience में क्या था? मतलब, okay, let me ask a different thing. What was the easiest thing? मुश्किल कुछ नहीं पर आसान क्या चीज?
Easiest thing is not to do anything actually. Let the status quo prevail. That's what many times it happens in.
Like आपके experience में 2011 to 2012, you are that very short tenure. What is the one thing that maybe you started, but if you had just continued, it would have changed Mumbai?
I had prepared policy almost for everything for next 25 years, except estates, which I didn't have time to look into. About roads, I had said every year, 1/7 roads should be done up again, either concretized or asphalt, good asphalt. In fact, every road need not be concrete road. To some extent, if you make the entire carriageway concrete road and you have your utility going under that, you'll be digging it again necessarily. And every road need not be a concrete road at all. Asphalt road can last 10-15 years also. It happens in many places if you make them properly.
Something from your tenure that basically you learned, where you realized that certain things can be easily done that can change the lives of many Mumbaikars. What would you say the 1 or 2 things?
One, I thought about Coastal Road that time. Environment Minister happened to visit Mumbai, telling us that he has issued a new GR in which you can make some roads on the stilts in water. That too, if there is a missing link, which is not possible to be made in some other way. I was in that meeting, so I told him, why only stilts? Why not reclamation? He said, reclamation not permitted. Then we talked, who prohibited that? Not Almighty. It's only the government rules. So I talked to him that there is a terrible situation in Mumbai, which I realized that people spend lots of time in commute in Mumbai. Many people spend about 4 to 6 hours in commute in the entire day. Suppose somebody coming from Virar or Vasai to Sobo, he will take at least 2 hours and 2.5 hours in coming to Mumbai. Take same amount of time in going back. Those who travel by car, I think at the peak time, the speed of travel was only 8 km per hour, which I told the gentleman, minister. I said, you create maximum pollution at low speed. People spend time, attention. So whatever time can go in productivity of the city of productivity declines. Family life also becomes bad. When you leave your place, your children are sleeping. When you go back, they are again sleeping. There's no family life. So firstly, productivity of the city has gone down. Estimated disease have increased in the city. Gave data in last 20 years, how much increase is there in the respected diseases. So my hospital data was there. So city needs, it's a coastal city. So there should be a coastal road.
What is the reaction?
He saw the point. He said in the same GRK, you please examine whether this can be done. I said that of course I will get examined, but by the time, sir, you will go away to Delhi. And perhaps the answer will be no. So what if the answer is no? Ultimately, to cut the long story short, he agreed to set up a committee to study the subject. And I was chairman of that committee, gave a report in 6 months, comparing what are sea links, what are stilt roads, and what are coastal roads through reclamation. And gave the comparative analysis of all the three. And proposed a coastal road from here up to Kandivali Link Road.
Have you been on the coastal road now that parts of it have been built? What do you think about it?
It's only partly made as yet. It's only up to Worli. It was supposed to go up to Kandivali, which I think they're extending up to Dahisar now. When full road comes, then you will see the full play of that. Idea was up to Mind Space in Andheri itself, there was 17 exit and entry. My basic thought was that once the coastal road, through traffic start going from there, or somebody say from Worli wants to go to Warsaw, he will not go from internal road, climb on that, and go to Warsaw and exit from there. Since much of the traffic will go from the coastal road, internal roads will also get unclogged. To that extent, the speed of travel there will increase, thereby reducing traffic time, both internally as well as externally. I think to some extent that has happened in Soho now. I think when Pedal Road is decongested, other day the paper report 60%, it has come down, the traffic there.
Are you impressed with the quality of the road? There's a video that's been circulating the last 3 days about a very bumpy patch in that.
Quality is not the issue in my view. And what patch I've seen of course what came in papers. To my mind, it's not a structural issue, it's not the quality of the road. Perhaps in the hurry to inaugurate some of the openings in rainy season, they did some jobs which should have been done after the rainy season actually. So it's a minor opening perhaps somewhere. They should be able to rectify it. We should not read too much in that the quality of road is compromised.
So you think it'll be a smooth road, or it'll be one of those roads that even after what they say fixed, it'll still give you a feel that ये road सही नहीं है?
I expect it to be a smooth road, but only time will tell.
Have you been on the other big infrastructure change that's happened is the Mumbai Trans Harbour link, what's called Atal Setu. You stay in Navi Mumbai. The bet was that Trans Harbour will in a way change Navi Mumbai forever. So far, it's done nothing to that effect. Are you surprised with the response to the Trans Harbour?
I think we are evaluating it a bit too early. Firstly, it's a new road. Traffic will increase quite a bit after the Navi Mumbai airport becomes operative. Secondly, I think we have made a slight mistake, a knee-jerk reaction of making the Vashi toll bridge toll-free. Since you save time hardly 5 minutes or so in going to, say, Navi Mumbai, whether through Vashi bridge or through this road. In that case, you don't have to pay anything on that other side. So the traffic there has shifted towards the Vashi side, That shouldn't have happened. Ideally, we are making that, 6 lanes each, both sides now added. We should increase the toll there, keep the toll on this side almost equal to Vashi toll by increasing Vashi toll. Then you would have seen much more traffic on this side.
Do you think Mumbai missed a chance by not adding a railway line to the Trans Harbour?
Lifetime. So I suggested that, of course, to MMRD at that time. In the middle of the road, you have one extra lane, create pillars there, on the top of it, train can turn, which can be added later on, but make a provision right away. Because later on, if you have to make a new bridge, then it's very, very expensive. And you can't have mass transit only through road. For masses to travel, railway connectivity was very, very important.
So why do you think we didn't implement such a... It's such a simple and...
I was told by MMRDA that they have already got the clearance environmental. I said they will get it for this also. Adding railway doesn't add to, it's for environment in any case. But somehow it didn't happen.
Because I genuinely feel that if we had a railway line on that, the entire impact of integrating Mumbai and Navi Mumbai would have been significantly higher.
More than impact, every citizen in Mumbai cannot travel only by car or this thing. A mass transport like train has to be there, which is much cheaper actually.
Are you satisfied with the toll fares at the Atal Setu, the Mumbai Trans Harbour Link? Many people who made the shift from Mumbai to Navi Mumbai, they say the rent तो सस्ता है, पर हर दिन का टोल पेट्रोल का खर्चा बहुत ज़्यादा है. Do you think we made a mistake in that?
I don't think you, because once you provide the services, you have to charge also for them. Otherwise, how to replicate the further infrastructure? Toll is not the issue. The issue is comparative toll. On one side, zero, other side is there. I mean, two ways to reach the same place. One you have made free, other you have put the toll. So you're bound to lose in the short run. But once, it will take some time in picking it up. It could have picked up now. It will take some time now. But it's a good investment in my view for the city infrastructure.
Would you say that's like one of the best roads you've driven in the Mumbai belt?
Which Atal Setu? It's well made. Road is good.
आपकी राय में मुंबई का सबसे नंबर 1 रोड कौन सा है और क्यों?
I think if you are talking small roads in the Soho near Mantralaya and this area are good. If you are talking big roads, Atal Setu is one. Coastal road should be another one.
Do you think that South Bombay or South Mumbai, they get much better treated than suburbs?
Difficult to say. In what way?
In terms of the entire lifestyle, the type of open spaces that they get, you get the footpaths, you get more planning, you get more greenery.
No, those footpaths are from the beginning itself there, I mean. Wide roads are the legacy you had in Soho.
So basically, आपका point ये है कि अगर फिर वो ब्रिटिश ने नहीं किया होता, then South Mumbai also would have been as bad as suburbs.
More than that, I am saying somehow Mumbai has come to a stage which thinks only in terms of FSI and construction now for few decades. Any open plot, any piece of land, one imagines a building there. They think it's a waste of money to provide a playground, park, or a wider road, or a parking space. I think they are as essential, more essential than the buildings actually. So that balance has gone away. And that's creating a little what you are asking, why the quality of life is not the same everywhere.
Because right now Mumbai has the lowest amount of open spaces on a per capita basis. And I would have thought that we would look to improve it. One part is maybe improving on the coastal road, what they're planning. But when I see these open plots that are meant for a recreation get gobbled up, it just makes me wonder that we are plundering the life of the city.
Actually, there are two kinds of open spaces in any city. In Mumbai, say, one is inside the building premises. Other is for the larger public, I mean. So we give 15% compulsory open space within the building itself, which is not accessible to anybody. So you will see many cities in the world which don't have that kind of open space of 15% requirement within the building. Building is there. There's not even a fencing there. It abuts the road. And you create lots of open green spaces for everybody to go there. So you lose lots of open space in Mumbai cities, in Indian cities, without any utility for the population at large. That's number one. Secondly, even whatever little open spaces you had, in the name of saying I will develop 0.5 FSI there, 0.2, 0.5 FSI there, then you say I'll construct something there, remaining you can have open space. So you are losing them also. And then we have also cheated ourselves while making development plans. Like in 1991, we put lots of open spaces as reservation on the shanties, slums, which you can't remove, and you have put the open space there. You're counting them in open spaces. I don't know whom are we deceiving.
Because I basically saw one report where it said that Mumbai wants to increase the amount of open spaces that they have, and they've already done it. But the only issue is that they've changed the definition of open spaces. Because it shocks me, when I see that you include things which are obviously not open space in open space, and then say we have boosted mangroves area.
I think somehow by seeing the tall building everywhere, we thought that constructing iconic buildings and good buildings is the end of the city development. That's not the case.
अगर आप नायक होते एक हफ्ते के लिए, एक दिन के लिए नहीं, आप सीएम होते एक हफ्ते के लिए, आप क्या क्या करते?
एक हफ्ते के लिए तो नहीं होता, but I think you can improve the life of the citizens very meaningfully if you stop looking at whatever properties you have, whether BMC or the government, vacant plots, or which can become vacant, that you do not use them only for monetization of the city, but creating parking space in the city. Ideally, not even a single vehicle should get parked on the road, whether of the shopkeeper or people visiting the shopkeeper, or a restaurant or people visiting the restaurant, or buildings not having parking inside their building or they are without that facility. None of them should come on the road. But right now, they have no other option but to be on the road. Ideally, unless every road, roughly 500-meter distance, you create a parking slot and you create enough, knowing the density of parking, by monitoring that, how many cars get parked here through the day, and you provide for them. After you provide them physically, then you can mandate that nothing should come on the road. And if anything comes, you can lift a time in from there. Your roads, not only in Mumbai, even Navi Mumbai you see now. Navi Mumbai is a planned city. It has, at many places, 3x3 road with a wide footpath. I find in the evening at many roads, 3 out of 2 lanes cars are parked. So what is left is only one. This is when Navi Mumbai population not even 20 lakhs. When it increases, what will happen? The city again will go down the drain. There is no reason why should we look at the land only a resource for constructing building. It is always utilized for constructing a building, utilized for constructing a parking facility. And you cannot simply blame the citizens for parking on the road because there is no alternative. Again, there is a myth that if you have, say, metro or a very good transport, public transport, cars will not be there in the city.
You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that for a simple reason. Even when I thought about Coastal Road, I gave a data in my report. So I won't name the person. Some very well-meaning person came to me. It should be only the public transport, cars should be discouraged, and you should not construct the road. It should become even worse roads than what they are today. Then only car will stop. So I asked him, London is a good city? He said yes. It is a good tube, good public transport? He said yes. How many do you think are the trips by the private transport? How many are public transport? He couldn't recollect. I said 77% by private transport, 23% by public transport, including tube. I said, what is in Bombay? It's other way around. 77 public transport, your suburban railway and best or whatever, and 23 by private. So when the incomes in the place increases, it's a country which is destined to be prosperous in the course of time. When the incomes increase, aspirations also increase, So even if there's a best public transport possible, best, very convenient, very comfortable, uncongested, even then car density will not go down. Cars are also aspirational for the people that have arrived in the society. Cars will be more in number. Trips will be less with the good transport. Whatever mileage or transport is there, we say 20 lakh cars, 40 lakh car will be there, but the transport mileage will be less because other comfortable this thing is there. So please, you require both. You require a good public transport and a good private transport.
So basically, it's not either.
It's not either or.
Both are needed.
We are deceiving ourselves if we believe like that.
Do you think what activists and environmentalists have a role in urban development planning?
See, they are well-meaning people. I will not say that they are having. Some of them may have the hidden agenda, but most of them are well-meaning youth, young people. I have interacted with many of them. Many times they become ideological. This or that. Life is not always black and white. So when I went to Navi Mumbai, lots of them met me and they wanted me to join to oppose Coastal Road. So it should not be there to ruin this thing. I told them, perhaps you may not know, I given the report, it should be there. He said, no, we'll ensure it should not come up. I said, please try. But I also cautioned them, you will not succeed. It's like missing the trees jungle for the trees, basically. He said, you are saying it will cut few mangroves in reclamation. You should be concerned about the overall mangrove population, not that few are cut for the road actually. You should see health benefit, you should see commute benefit, family life, getting ease, productivity of the city. And I also asked them at last, if there's a deluge like 2005, how will you protect your people when lots of people died, sitting in their cars and in the water and water seeped everywhere? You couldn't even evacuate them from here to the other. I said, at least this will be a high-level road. People at least can evacuate from the city, actually. They saw the point, but still they say there's a rock there, and there's some life there. So sometimes it becomes that. But mostly, if I can give you an anecdote, when I was mulling over how do I make the coastal road, I had done half the work. There was a meeting in this college near BMC headquarters, St. Xavier's.
St. Xavier's, okay. Yeah.
So Agni and lots of NGOs kept a meeting there, called me also. They wanted to discuss city and environment and things. After some this thing, when my turn came to speak, I told them that I am going to say something which none of you will like, but say I will. You are not aware what I am working on. I am going to propose a coastal road by reclaiming land from the sea from here up to Kandivali. I had done my part work by that time. I said there are too many naysayers in the city. So please don't have your antennas up and start reacting violently immediately. Take a breath, think for 5 minutes and then talk to me. So I told them the plan. You'll be surprised. There were a large number of them. After the event was over, each one of them told me, sir, we will not oppose it. Even if we will have point, we'll first come and discuss with you. Because the idea was they understood the intent. They understood the purpose, its benefit. So those people who were saying it should not reclaim even an inch, none of them opposed. When I gave the report, it came in all the papers. Did you see any voice in any paper, anybody saying it should not be made? At that time, no. After 4 or 5 years, some voices came. There are methods and methods. You have to see the quid pro quo, the cost benefit analysis of both.
Is a BMC commissioner as powerful as a PM Modi is of 2014 and 19? Or is he like the Manmohan Singh government of 2004?
I'll put it this way. What you call power, there's nothing like power anywhere. Power is certain authority given to an individual or an institution so that he can carry out the responsibilities entrusted to him. In absence of which, he can't carry out those functions, That's how you perhaps define power. Otherwise, you consider power which can be misused. That is power. So power is only that to enable you to discharge your duties. As far as BMC commissioner is concerned, it's a local self-government. And he is quite, unfettered in his functioning. He can be. If you want to do good, then nobody to prevent you. Nobody can prevent you from doing something which is good for the city. There are no fetters on you in that sense. And I, in my entire career, whether in government or in BMC or in Government of India, I spent 1/3 time in Government of India also. 4 years in BMC, in 2 tenures, and rest in Government of Maharashtra. I have not seen anyone, anywhere, in any job, whether a politician or a bureaucrat, who was a part of the problem. I found them, all of them, to be the part of the solution. Once you explain the thing, articulate properly, and if you don't have any hidden agenda, everybody either helps you, assists you, or becomes neutral, Nobody opposes. So BMC Commissioner wants to do something, nothing to prevent him from doing that.
So would you say, if that's indeed the case, would you say that the governance in our top cities is a failure of the bureaucrat or is it a failure of the politician?
To some extent, both. See, politicians also choose who the bureaucrat should be on that organization, actually. And sometimes the choice is not according to ability or competence or ability. It can also be that I need a yes man there. May not be able, may not be upright, but I need him there. So to that extent, both are equally responsible.
A few weeks back, one of your peers, the fellow bureaucrat R.C. Sinha, when I asked him the same question, he said, I blame 51% bureaucrat and 49% politician, because no politician can be corrupt without a bureaucrat. The same question to you. In percentage, if I was to ask you, what would you say?
I can't really allocate the percentage, but to one extent he's right, that if all bureaucrats become totally upright, it's not possible to have the political corruption also. That is asking for utopia. In any society, any system, all kinds of people will exist. So some corruption will always exist, whether in bureaucracy or in the political side. The question is whether that percentage of the people who are that type is small or large. If it is small, things can be managed. If it's large, perhaps you have to hide your upright people.
Tell me, as a commissioner at the BMC, how deep is what people call this builder, politician, bureaucrat nexus? Is it exaggerated? Builders tell me it's exaggerated. Okay, most of them. कि इतना बड़ा नहीं है जितना आप लोग बनाते हो, जितना हेडलाइंस में आता है. Is that true?
अब कितना बड़ा है कितना छोटा है इसका क्या डेफिनेशन है? कुछ हद तक है, डिपेंड्स फ्रॉम regime to regime. I mean, sometime it is more, sometime it is less.
In your tenure, did you face a lot of pressure from builders?
None from anyone.
None from the builder, none from the politician, none from a fellow bureaucrat. Because I'm sure you're aware of the common perception that most government officers and politicians are in a way silent partners when it comes to a real estate project. एक main partner है जो face है, but उसके साथ partners है who are invariably the guys who help the gravy train run. तो
not everyone, but yeah, quite a few.
But आप बोल रहे कि there was no pressure whatsoever you faced from anybody. Were you just lucky that nobody was there?
Perhaps they knew me for last 30 years. It won't yield any results. Firstly, I don't get pressurized. Something which is not correct, I won't be doing it, irrespective of where the request comes from.
Can bureaucrats succeed without strong political will?
Difficult.
Who was the one politician who you think was like really behind you, who said, Subodh Kumar, go for it. Whatever you want to do, I'm with you. And what could you achieve in that?
I don't think I had that kind of a conversation. I asked him whether you support me or not. No. I believe that once you start doing the right things, lots of people who oppose you in the beginning, either out of vested interest or out of ignorance, they also slowly fall in line. That's number one thing I say. Secondly, if I have my own agenda, then the question of support or lack of support comes. Whatever we say about human nature, most people do not want to believe about themselves, yeah, I am a crook. So I don't think they come in the way of anybody who wants to do the right thing. Number one. And if you articulate with the people, most of the people want to be the part of the solution, not the part of the problem.
So in your interaction, who would you say was the most dynamic politician you've seen when it comes to at the governance level? Speeches mein nahi, but at the governance level.
In the last 10 years of my service, when I was at senior level, some years went in Government of India out of that. 4 or 5 years were in the state. I had that time 2 chief ministers. One was Mr. Vilasrao Deshmukh. Other was Prithviraj Chavan. Both had their own strengths. Like in finance, it was a very satisfying tenure when I was finance secretary. But what I could do in BMC, we could collectively do, changing the building rules, wholesale. It wouldn't have happened without Mr. Prithviraj Chavan. No other chief minister, perhaps, if I worked with him, it would have been possible.
Why do you say that?
Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses.
So Mr. Chavan's strength was that he let you do the job, or you think he was not entrenched into what people say in Mumbai is that some friend is involved in real estate who might get harmed? वैसे, do you think that's
Later part.
that? So I'm actually pleasantly surprised to know that there are politicians in Maharashtra who don't have a slice in Mumbai real estate. I always go with the assumption that every politician has something or the other when it comes to Mumbai real estate.
Otherwise, also politicians also are much maligned lot. I have seen as many good politicians as I have seen good bureaucrats. I mean, what kind of system we create in the country or the state? What kind of people go ahead, both in bureaucracy and the politicians.
You said about Navi Mumbai. Just when I told one broker that you are coming on the show, he said, please ask Mr. Kumar one question. कि उन्होंने मुंबई बिल्डर्स को तो ठीक कर दिया, नवी मुंबई बिल्डर्स को ठीक क्यों नहीं किया? मुंबई बिल्डर्स आफ्टर रेरा हैव स्टार्टेड कोटिंग ऑन कारपेट एरिया, पर नवी मुंबई बिल्डर्स के लोग अभी भी ओल्ड फैशन स्कैम तरीके में बेचते हैं, क्यों?
I think first I like to react to selling in carpet area or the super built up area or built up area, right? I don't think it makes any difference in the market whether you sell at carpet area or otherwise. Because people buy a flat which they have a look at. They know how much is the carpet area there. Builder may write anything. Builder never writes. Whether New Bombay or earlier Bombay, this is my super built up area. They never write anything. They write only this is the building plan. This is the area, carpet area, and this is the price. So whether you sell at carpet area or super built up area, the rate changes accordingly. It's a 3-bedroom flat. Carpet area is suppose 1,000 square feet. Super built up is suppose 1,500 is quoting. For 1,000, he will take a rate suppose of 15,000. For 1,500, maybe quotes, he will take a rate of 10,000. Ultimate result is same. So one should not read too much in that.
But is it really the same? Because I basically asked many developers, tell me a calculation of super built up area. And from the reaction, I can often see that for many of them, it's like an imaginary number.
People don't buy super built up area. They buy, I am buying this flat in which 3 bedrooms are there or 2 bedrooms are there. Their size is 10 by 12, 14 by 16. This much is the drawing room. They pay for that. They are not fools. So that doesn't make a difference. It's a fad. Once a judge of the High Court asked me this the same question which you are asking me. So I told him it's that. So he said I understood enough.
But then, would you really say that's the right way of looking at it? When people buy under construction homes on a floor plan, they don't buy a ready home. So you're buying a purchase.
But you take the plan.
But how many people do you think really understand the plan when they do?
That's a question of course, you are right. If it's not transparent, some people can be duped by that if they're not careful about. But to my mind, when people spend money in the house under construction also, it's a lifetime big investment for them. And they do everything. What they don't understand, their neighbor will tell them, a friend will tell them. They will not just take it just like that out of ignorance. You ask anyone tomorrow after this, anyone who has bought a house, okay, when did you buy the house? What did you see and how much area you thought you are buying?
A common feedback I get from many buyers is that what they buy under construction and what they eventually get at possession, they're shocked. We expected the living room to be of this size when we did it, because the plan says one thing which is hard to read. The sample flat is deceptive. The real thing is when they get 5 years later. And
but that's a cheating. In that case, you can sue him.
Yeah, but
I understand the difficulty, but I'm saying that's a cheating. You promise this thing on paper, X dimension, you give Y dimension. I mean, that's a cheating.
How do you rate the Navi Mumbai market? I think the Mumbai market you clearly tamed the wild instincts that were there. What would you say is the state of the Navi Mumbai market at this point?
Navi Mumbai market has enough supply. That's a good thing actually. So that will keep prices to check in some extent. I think people feel a city is good if its real estate is prices are increasing. I think it's other way around. If the prices keep on increasing, forget affordability, you are making a city less productive otherwise in economy for business and commerce. Right now, I think somehow the impression is gained that city is good. When the people buy a house, they should find its value doubling or tripling in next 4-5 years or 10 years. Then they think the city is very good. I think they're killing the city in that case.
Cities, housing should never be that expensive. Can Mumbai ever see affordable housing?
I think affordable word is not applicable either to Mumbai or to bulk of MMR now. What we keep on saying we have created affordable housing in Mumbai is not affordable. A small size, 300 square foot, 500 square feet, call them affordable housing. But they are costing also more than 1 crore. How many people in Mumbai can afford a house of 1 crore? When the average income is not more than 10 to 15,000 per month or 20,000 per month.
But do you think there's a role for government in creating affordable housing, like a MADA type setup to now?
Government can only do. There are two components of the housing. One is land, other is the construction cost. Construction cost is what it is actually. Higher FSI for the smaller houses divides the land cost on the large number of flats. To that extent, prices do come down. But again, demand-supply mismatch. Demand is more than supply. So whatever the cost will not decide the selling price. The market decides. It's a level 1 course of economics, I mean. Demand-supply will decide that. So if you want affordable housing in Mumbai, more people can afford. Supply has to increase of the houses which people need, not the houses only for the upper rich. A mismatch in not only Maharashtra but almost entire India. If you see the inventory of the house is built. Houses are built where demand is not that much, I mean. Suppose there are 5% population wanting particular kind of house. There the supply is maybe 20%. And where the 95% people want houses, supply is much lesser. So if you have enough supply and land cost to divide by having vertically high FSI, in that case, the price in the market will come down. But by doing everything with less supply, as long as demand is more than the supply, the price will not come down. Irrespective of the cost of construction, cost of land.
You use the word uber rich. Just the two buildings of yours where when the team was doing research on you, two names popped up. One is right now amongst the tallest buildings of India, but it had a long journey, frustrating journey, Palais Royal. And second is the JK House, also tall, though not in the same league, admittedly. Those two cases, just when it came to you, what was your first reaction when you looked at those plans?
No, these plans did come to me because they had been approved much before I came to BMC. And they were under construction that time. So there was no reason for that to come to me. I happened to look at them because complaints came to me. I used to get complaints from the citizens of wrongdoing in the city. And my methodology was to remove their identity. To remove their identity. Who made the complaint? The complainant identity will not be made public.
So they used to call you?
No. I will get an SMS. And SMS I will not share even with my staff also. So nobody in BMC or outside will know who is the complainant. Neither his telephone number, nor his address, nor his name. So after deleting that, I'll dictate a small letter to my concerned staff to get the correct facts of the matter. That's how, among many cases, these two cases also came. And I realized that there is much in these two buildings which is not right, even if sanctioned by the municipal commissioners of that time. So in one case, I think the 50,000 square meter area, the constructed area was 5 lakh square meter. In other case, I think refuge area was about 70% of the livable area. Besides all other things, deck parking, etc.
आपका memory अभी भी sharp है on those cases. I can see.
And I think
numbers there.
refuge was given on every floor. It is generally given after each 7 floors. So every floor is a refuge. And 70% refuge is something I mean, because you don't give more than 4% otherwise. So I stopped stop work notice to both. It came to me in the last my 15 working days, the complaint. I got report in 3-4 days. And then I had no choice but to give them the stop work notice. Rest, my successor pursued that.
Did both the players who were handling these two buildings, JK House and Palais Royal, they had they come from strong lineages. Did they reach out to you to ask you to go easy on it?
I knew both. I was Textile Commissioner of India, so I knew both the families. Raymond as well as this. Otherwise, also textile
Mill,
family.
yeah, textile. Shriram Mills.
I must admire that nobody ever came with the wrong request ever. No builder.
In these points, yeah, you gave the name of one of the buildings earlier in the conversation. When BMC tells a developer to make a building, they give you permission, and along with that, they tell you to create some public amenities. Very few are actually for the public. Is there a way we can close this gap?
It's a large topic. I had given a suggestion to government when I was commissioner in the last 2-3 months. What should be done? I think it's lying somewhere. I mean, there are solutions for that. I don't think you should ask anything free from anybody actually, including the builder. You can always grant him certain building rights in lieu of that and take it from him, number one. Secondly, taking isolated property is not a good thing for BMC. Take one flat here, 2 flats there, one transit tenement here. Difficult to manage. It will be either somebody will break in or you will have more cost of looking after it, maintaining it. Ideally, you should create your own, this kind of thing, your own plot sometime. I mean, estate plots are there, other plots are there. This should be very transparent. A builder should construct buildings for the user in the transparent rules in which there should be no discretion to either party.
So in a plot, let the builder do what he wants. If you want your recreation ground, whatever, let BMC do it somewhere else. Do it themselves. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you still recall, but that building, JK House, is supposed to have a public museum on the higher floors.
It was a private museum which is later on labeled as a public museum. How can a public go in a private building with a tight security which won't allow you try to go? I don't think you'll be able to go there.
You can't. I mean, I in fact tried it some time back just to see how the view looks from there. I thought I'll go and see what the museum was all about.
So you could not enter there.
I could not enter. It's security. I understand that, but I'm guessing when such permissions are given, you have to have enough checks to ensure that there's a separate entrance to go to the particular
No, but it
floor.
was not a public museum to begin with. It was a private museum to begin with. It was converted to a public museum later when the notice went out. But in practice, it's a private museum even now.
Okay. Last few questions, Mr. Kumar. You told us about your tenure, BMC chief, different areas. Would it be fair for me to say that Subodh Kumar is not as anti-builder as many people make him out to be?
I'm definitely not anti-builder. I always used to say to everybody in government, including Chief Minister, that builder is not a bad word or a bad person. He's a person who delivers, assembles labor, material, and through regulations, he creates something and give it to the people actually. He's not a bad word. So I don't mind meeting any builder. So I never shied away from anybody who took my time to meet him in a private room in my office. Because many times the CM said, I don't meet builders alone, I meet only in this thing. I said, why do you meet alone? If you are clear about yourself, you can meet anybody actually.
So Subodh Kumar does not hate builders?
Certainly not. How can I hate anybody who creates something in the society, whether it's a builder, industrialist, anybody else? I am against bad practices, whether in government or in private. Against monopoly, whether in government or in private. I am against excessive discretion to anybody for that matter, whether private party or whether it's a CM or whether it's a municipal commissioner. discretion, if it is unfettered, will always be misused in some case or the other. To my mind, rules of the game should be simple, should be transparent. If anybody violates them, you should come like a ton of brick on his head, ruin him. If somebody is playing by the rules, his life should be very simple, without harassment, without bribes, without delays.
क्योंकि आपका perception तो I'm sure you just a thing I'll be telling you, many people have told you that most builders during your tenure and a few years after, they really did not like you. Okay, then I've noticed there's a sea change how they viewed you, because I think they've seen the unraveling of the benefits of a level playing field. But at that initial period, I think it'll be fair for me to say that you are probably the most hated person among that community of real estate developers.
See, once you join governance, you are not in a popularity contest. And governance is never about the popularity. It's about doing the right things. And there'll be bouquet, there'll be brickbats. It's not only the brickbats are there, bouquets also will be there. So both are the part of the game. You are supposed to do the right thing, and ultimately people realize what is right. As you rightly said yourself, कि all of them now say कि what happened was right.
आपको उस टाइम काफी builders का phone आया?
Not. I used to meet them otherwise. I called their association 6 times before I made the changes final. Okay, what are your suggestions?
Did they give you their suggestions?
No, it was a very, open discussion. Whatever they could think of, they gave. Not too many. But it was not something. If they came with a suggestion, so like...
Example, give me an example, a suggestion that they gave, which Subodh Kumar had an open mind to say, कि boss, they're not fully wrong.
Absolutely open mind. See, one suggestion was, a group of them said कि parking, compulsory parking under 3324 for the building, how many parking slots you should make, is very high. And it should be less. Some of them demanded it should be less, it should be more. In Marabar Hill, what is the parking provided is less. If there are 4 bedrooms, people keep 4 cars. I should be given more parking. I heard them. I told them, in the Hisar, people say, when the parking according to rules should be 2, I need only 1. No, there are not that many cars there, So what is your suggestion? There are 2 different conflicting demands. So they were silent. They didn't give any suggestion. But later on, when I was in my room, I thought I have a solution. The solution I found was that whatever is in the rules, that is mandatory. You can take 25% of that additional parking at your volition if you want to do that. That means where you need it to take it, you don't take it. That kind of suggestion. Generally, nobody said anything about fungible FSI.
Did you ever consider the thought that maybe instead of just including everything in FSI, for areas like balcony, just allow it free, but a very small proportion, like the rules allow for amenity space being 2% of the plot area. A similar thing could have been done for balconies, do you think?
My idea was that there is a space constraints in Mumbai for the housing. Demand is much more, supply is much less. So I thought best thing is to leave it to the consumer and the supplier. See what he wants. So what we said, you are free to make whatever you want to make. You want to make a balcony plus few rooms, or you want to make few rooms. What your customer needs and what you supply is up to you. Whether you make balcony, that is a part of FSI. You make room, that is a part of FSI. So it's debatable whether I should dictate that by mandating I'll give you outside that it's free. Ultimately, free gets misused. You will see large number of buildings I had seen in Mumbai. Even on my acquaintances, there was no balcony. Balcony was taken inside the house.
I think, yeah, that's it. There are many parts of the suburbs as well as South Mumbai where the balcony...
So instead of me mandating, why can't I trust people what they need, and why can't I trust the provider what he provides? People provide what people need actually. Industry produces what people need.
In your view, now, having looked at so many floor plans in your life, meeting so many builders, who's the most interesting developer you ever met, and what is the most interesting building that Subodh Kumar has seen and said, "Iska design कुछ और ही है.
Everybody has something or other in his design.
पर आपको जो एकदम पसंद आया वो कौन सा था?
I forget the name now. There was some green building somebody had made.
In which location?
I don't recall now. Long time. He came to me when I was making the fungible FSI. I had not sent the proposal to government. Lots of them came, like Hafiz contractor came, Oberoi came, others came with their this kind of thing. Aisa karna chahiye. They had their own agendas. Most of them should not have been done and were not done. So one of them came and he said, sir, he made a presentation to me for about, he wanted my 20-25 minutes. So he made a presentation, ki this building, that building, and he gave me 3 designs. Said, do you like this or that? It was a no-brainer. This building was better. He says, this is a green building like this. It's that label, eco label was there. His agenda was that I should give more fungible FSI to these kind of buildings compared to other buildings. Suppose I am giving others 25% that time, which I made 35. I should give it 50. Because I do not want that kind of building to come to the city. I told him, okay, what is your additional cost of construction for this? Which I could have guessed myself. He said 5%. And what is your selling price compared to the other building? 15% more. I said, if by spending 5% more, you are taking from the market 15% higher amount, then why do you need me to incentivize it compared to other building? But everybody will not be able to afford that building, even if he likes it, because he's economizing a tight budget. So either you say, I'll reduce the price, I'll give you higher. To be fair to the gentleman, he immediately said, sir, thank you very much. I understood you are absolutely right. But I am glad that we have a commissioner, who will not be partisan, we look at the city interest.
Mr. Kumar, last few questions. I have to ask this. Do you think people in the municipal corporation like you for changes that you brought about? That in a way you reduced bribe potential for the government officers while making the government richer. Do you think government officers like you, or then do they hate you? What do you think?
I do not know. I think I'm not the right person to reply to that. Better thing you should do your recce in BMC and find it out.
What do you think? What do you think would be their reaction to you? Do you think they like you?
My understanding of human nature is, then people, when they see something right happening, they realize in their bones that this is right. And I found them very supportive at that time also when I did it. You may say at that time, since I was in the seat, they will not show me otherwise. But some of them were very enthusiastic also. They came with their suggestions also for even improving it further actually. So human nature is, if you do something which you can feel proud of later in your life, perhaps you cherish it slightly more than anything else in life. To the extent I visited BMC, sometimes I go to their hospital.
You go to the BMC hospital yourself?
Yeah, I always. Even when I was BMC commissioner, I never took treatment outside. I took in the hospital only.
What was your impression of the BMC hospitals?
Hospitals are very competent people, BMC. Of course, the workload is more and common man may not get the kind of time and attention of a doctor which he needs. There could be some few black sheep also which happen anyway. But by and large, these hospitals are very good hospitals actually.
But why did you choose to go in a government hospital and not a private one?
Firstly, I don't believe the expertise any less in the government hospital, BMC hospital, whether it's KEM or Nair or Sion. They know depth of expertise. Only thing is, given the rush of patients, they are not able to give each patient as much time as perhaps a doctor ought to give. Maybe because I was in the corporation, so they gave me the time which they ought to give. So that is not the handicap. And
You got private quality service in a public hospital.
attention-wise, time-wise, yes.
Okay.
Which they try to give to everybody, but they can't give the same time to each patient if the queue is very long. But I think doctors are good, and there is no fear of somebody trying to tell you a procedure for commercial reasons. I mean,
Which is an undisputed racket in I think all Indian cities now.
all everywhere actually.
So back to my earlier question. Do you think BMC officers hate you, or do you think they
I
like
will only
you?
say, like, if I go to hospital, I get the same treatment from the hospital doctors which I got when I was in the seat. I didn't find an iota of difference.
Have you ever faced a threat from any politician or contractor, road
Threat means
contractor,
threat to life or what?
for the type of changes that you do, given the stakes that are involved in the municipal corporation, from road contractors, builders, politicians?
No. Somebody may anonymous call sometime in some earlier job, not in these jobs. I mean, which I told him, okay, do it. So you don't need my permission for doing that.
But you're saying in your entire tenure in the big stakes table of Mumbai Municipal Corporation, where you seem to have hurt the pockets of many powerful people, you didn't receive a single threat.
See, it's like this. Those who give threat, they never carry it out. Those who harm you, they never give threat. So don't worry about the threats, number one. Second, once you do a system change, you are not doing any particular individual. There is no personal enemy who is out to get you. When everybody is in the same boat, no single individual take the initiative to kill you. Second, builders are not criminals or some such thing, I mean, that they will harm to you. They know how to achieve their objective. They're a businessman, I mean. There are various methods of achieving the objective. Torpedo what I'm doing. They'll try to go to that route. And if it has happened despite that, then what is the point in causing any harm to me? So either way, I was not scared of that.
You spent time in the private in a private company after the municipal corporation. Which one is tougher, public sector or private?
Both are easy. Only thing is, in government, to do reforms and to get the outcomes, I'm not talking about the activity, I'm talking about outcomes, requires little more effort. And it has many more stakeholders comparatively, which you have to take along.
One thing Subodh Kumar would like to change about his BMC commissioner tenure.
Even in hindsight, I thought there was no need for anything differently what I have done. Except sometimes it came to my mind when I saw the balcony disappearing from the scene, whether I could have said that each flat can have balcony of a certain dimension. It came to my mind. And instead of giving 35% there, I could have given 5-10% free. Instead of giving 2, 3, or 4 balconies, or depending on the size of the flat, everybody having a single balcony of only a certain dimension, say 100 square feet or whatever I mean. That came to my mind, but nothing else.
That thing right now, if you were again in the hot seat, you would do that? You would allow
I
balconies?
may do that. I may give, instead of 35, I may give 30 and give that free. Second, I regret of not taking up education early. I took in the last 2 months. My idea was how the BMC schools can be adopted by large number of NGOs, private people, whom I reimburse money on outcome basis. I had that one meeting in which I had those minutes. Idea was that now we have a large number of schools and there are a large number of vacancies. If somebody wants to adopt a school in which he will bring his own teachers, so I will shift my teachers to other school where the vacancies are there. I'll give it to him. And I said the conditions are, you are doing charitable work even now. I'm spending this much on this school per student, I mean. So I will give you that money at the end of the year, provided your outcomes are so and so. learning outcomes. And learning outcomes, I had taken UNICEF for that. I mean, UNICEF will be judging the learning outcomes. 5th standard hai, 6th hai, maths hai, ye hai. How much learning he should have and how much they have. And if today out in the beginning of the year we will measure the learning outcome. At the end of the year, if the learning outcome is improved so much, you get full money from me. Otherwise, nothing from me. So they are prepared for that. Some wanted that we won't have our own teachers, but we will have our management. I said fine. Third was that they will have their headmaster. I said fine. Sometimes they said, you second the teachers to us. I said, yes, I can second the teachers to you. But they should be in disciplinary control. He should be willing to come to you. He will come if you offer him something more salary than I pay him. What I pay him, top it up by a certain percentage. Then I'll give you the right of taking action against him. There was a fourth scenario developed. But it was in the month of March, I left in the month of April. Before I could operationalize, I needed slightly more time.
Do you think you could have done something for Mumbai's footpaths? Means footpaths in Mumbai either don't exist, or if they exist, they're mainly for hawkers. Do you think you could have done something there?
See, hawker solution is a difficult problem. For me to say yes or no, that kind of answer you can't give really, I mean. But yes, one can try to find out solution for that, but require a little longer time for that.
What's the solution to... It seems like a pretty straightforward solution, right? For hawkers, either you have designated zones for them,
Correct.
where you structure it, where the money again goes to the government, rather than people illegally allowing them and then taking hafta.
Right. But hawking on footpath is not a good idea. Ultimately, you have to find land from your land from which you want to monetize otherwise and do it there.
So basically, it comes down to the problem you have been mentioning, that Mumbai now treats every space as only real estate.
Absolutely. Which will not let the city become what it should be unless you change their mindset.
Okay. On that note, Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for coming on The Real Deal. Like I said at the start, you've been mentioned many times in the podcast already. Good to finally hear your side of the story. Good luck going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much.